Everybody who's followed United People's TV over the last few months knows how much I've been admiring what Erik ten Hag has done so far at Manchester United. We're far from the finished product. We're still going to get speed bumps. We're going to get games like Brighton, Brentford, Real Sociedad, City, and now Villa. But to hear Erik ten Hag speak, you can't help but be impressed. And his press conference yesterday was a bit of a different one. He invited members, I believe, of 12 Manchester United supporters groups in and answered questions directly from them. What he's trying to do is trying to rebuild bridges that the club has burned between the fans and United. And I think he's going about it in exactly the right way. And I want to explain that in this video. Please do watch it. Please drop a like on it if you do enjoy it, because I'm enjoying the fact that Erik ten Hag is our manager. And I want to explain what I saw yesterday that gives more evidence to that. So let's run into it. Because ten Hag said this, and he was very clear on this. He said, look, rebuilding the relationship with fans. It was definitely one of our plans, part of our plan that we had. You need a connection with the fans. Manchester United is that big in the world, and you have to show commitment and make an engagement. Because if we rewind to last season, we all felt a massive, massive disconnect with Manchester United. Losing to Liverpool 5-0 at home, losing to Liverpool 4-0 away. It felt like it was the most disconnected I think I've ever felt as a United fan. Just the sheer down tools nature of how we played. No one was swinging for United. Nobody was playing for Rangnick. Everybody was thinking about themselves. And that self-indulgence, from the player perspective, dragged the club into just this no man's land, I suppose you can call it. And I felt a huge, huge disconnect. And ten Hag has made it very clear that that's a big part of what he's trying to do straight away. He said, look, there's one thing that I notice here. When you see the history of United, they won a lot of titles and trophies, but it was always that by team spirit and fighting spirit. And that is one of the things I wanted to bring back. And we are in the right direction. He said, you have to build a togetherness, because also we want to act like that on the pitch as well. The team has to understand that, and everyone around Manchester United has to understand that the fans are there for us. You play football for your fans, and we have to be aware of it. And for me, that's why the sort of celebrations we saw against Spurs, the celebration that we saw after Casemiro's goal, sure, it was only an equaliser at Stamford Bridge, but these players are helping you feel more connected to the club. And what ten Hag is saying there, he's saying that, look, by the fans, for the fans. You know that stupid saying that keeps going around. Football without fans is nothing, until football's back, and then no one really cares about the fans. But ten Hag and these players, these signings, are helping instill something a bit different. And as ten Hag said here, he goes, look, I feel like we're heading in the right direction. It's a process. It takes time. But we're not where we want to be. But when we're not where we should be, then there's something wrong. I've got high standards, and that's what I demand of the people around me. And I think it's probably why I've got such a man crush on Lisandro Martinez, because I see something in Martinez that I just haven't seen in these players for so long. It's not just a likability. It's not just an aggression. It's like he genuinely gives a fuck, and not just there for the pay packet. And we have become Mercenary FC for a long old time now. And that was something we pointed at the likes of Chelsea and City for the fact that they were those sorts of clubs and we weren't. But we lost that. That was a part of our identity that sort of disappeared when Fergie left. And those bridges, ten Hag is really, really trying to rebuild. And I think he's doing, and has been doing, a fantastic job since day one. And something that you really notice, and I'll speak about it a little bit later in this video, we've just lost the 3-1 against Villa. But the way ten Hag carries himself, he's not looking at that as a point of crisis. He's looking at that as an opportunity to learn. He's looking at that as a situation and said, well, that's not going to get repeated. And how are we not going to do that? And it was his clarity of the long-term vision in this press conference that I really enjoyed the most. And let's have a little clip from the press conference here when he was asked about what he sees as the key factors to how he can achieve that long-term vision at Manchester United. Let's get this up for you.
I believe in that last. It's two sides. It's good scouting, be successful on the transfer market, but also good youth philosophy, what brings up players. And when we are 2 years further, I hope we developed a way of play, really, and it has to be a proactive way. proactive football, that we are dominating and dictating games against all our competitors, so also on the highest level. So we're really good challenge is that. So when you get that style and that into the squad, it also will see that players will develop to higher levels, and so the improvement does not only has to come from be successful on the transfer market, but it is definitely a part of it, but also it has to come from improvement what we get by coaching and let's say by managing, by coaching and by training.
He really has such a massive clarity on how he wants to achieve everything he wants to achieve at Manchester United. And that's kind of been the way since day one. And the fact that he's kind of splitting it into a couple of categories there. Number one, you've got to be good with scouting. You've got to be good in the market. Number two, he's talking about youth and bringing youth through. And number three is about good coaching. Now, in terms of the transfer market, that's where we've seen a massive change straight away. Now, in terms of how we acted as an operation, it was I would kind of say abysmal. We shouldn't have signed the likes of Martinez, Casemiro and Anthony after the fact that we lost 2 games against Brighton and Brentford. It should have been done earlier. As an operation, there's so much we need to improve. But Martinez was one player of the month so far for the club. Eriksen's won it. Casemiro's won it. The 3 signings that he's made have won player of the month in August, September and October. And that's because Ten Hag is bringing the right players in to suit this methodology that he wants to bring into the club. We go down there, we go back to the quote here about how he saw Manchester United winning previously, and it was always by team spirit and fighting spirit. And if we're looking at the players that we've signed now, I mean, it's clearly why I've got such an affiliation with Martinez, because I remember that. Maybe there's something subconscious in there that he's digging out in me. And Casemiro as well. But it's not just that. And this is something that I was very excited about when Erik Ten Hag became manager. It was the fact that we just won the FA Youth Cup for the first time in a decade. And there were some real quality players in that team. Obviously, Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo, and there's others as well. It was just the right time for Erik Ten Hag to come into the club. For these youngsters to look at the manager that we've got and go, you know what? There's a manager there who genuinely has built a career at Ajax off the back of taking academy players and turning them into stars through top-class coaching. And that's what he's starting to do at Manchester United and what he will do. And it's not just about the success in the transfer market. It's like internal and external success. Both have to happen at the same time. And Ten Hag really has just got such a clear vision. And I tell you what, this was a really particularly good part of the press conference here when he was asked about what he likes to do on his time off. And it's just the manner of his response, I enjoy.
What do you like most about the city, and what do you like to do to relax away from the games?
I never can go into the city because they don't give me rest. Always media, they make click-clacks photos. They don't give me the opportunity to be there. So I am only on Carrington training ground. No, that's quite. I need also my time to get back, but most of the times.
He's doing it with a big smile. Again, maybe I'm looking into this too much, but it's just he's obviously comfortable in the environment that he's in. He's comfortable with the work that he's done so far, and he's comfortable speaking to the fans and speaking directly. And look, when it comes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before, I've defended him until I couldn't defend him anymore. And part of that was because, let's be honest, because of my affiliation with Solskjaer. Genuinely, he's my favourite United player. I remember him as a kid. It's because I think it's because I was a sub all the time, because I was bang average at football. But Ten Hag is somebody I really, truly believe is the best man that we could have got in. We finally made a really smart decision with the manager. And I love the way that this club, that the direction that this club is heading in, with the players that we're getting in, with the process that we're on. And I will defend Ten Hag. I will do continuous videos like I did all pre-season, like I will do all season, in all the positives that I'm seeing. Because speed bumps like Villa will happen. But as you can see in his press conference yesterday, it's not something that's really dragging him down. He's like, okay, right, that's an error. Let's see if we can learn from that. And I imagine we will learn from it. And I just thought it was a really fascinating press conference. I don't normally do videos on during the day when we play in the evening. Let's see what goes on against Villa tonight. But I really, really trust what Ten Hag is doing. And I think the players do. Everyone talks about the clarity. He has got that clarity. And he's determined to rebuild those bridges with fans, which is a big part of it. And I think the likes of Lisandro Martinez are going a big, big way to helping that be achieved. You let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. But bring on whatever's next with Ten Hag. I'm looking forward to it.